WrestleMania 40 is now complete. We are now on the road to WrestleMania 41, if you could believe it. Next year already, Rock Roman will finally happen. Keep a little spoiler alert. I'm privileged to have Gambino Gaming on the channel today to go over night 2 of WrestleMania. Gambino Gaming, give everybody a little synopsis on who you are, where they could find you, and what you are all about.
Gambino Gaming on YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch. I am your favorite neighborhood crabman, die-hard Bray Wyatt, Eddie Guerrero fan. The Gambino Gaming podcast, known as Kicking It with Crabman, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays is where you can find my videos. Road to 1,000. We're sitting at 705 right now. It needs to be updated.
They better update it. YouTube's pretty slow with all that stuff.
Yeah.
They better get on their crap. So, right off the bat, I just want to get this out of the way. Night 2 crowd, way better than Night 1 crowd. I don't know how you felt about that.
Complete facts.
Yeah, I think it was, I don't know if it was a different type of fan. Maybe they heard a lot of people complaining, but they were on their game tonight.
I think it had to do with the weather. I think they were saying yesterday that it was a lot colder than it was tonight, and maybe that's what kept the crowd on fringe for being as roaring as they were tonight with the temperature change.
Yeah. So I think it was like 60 or 50, something like they said like that. So good enough. So we kick off at night 2. Stephanie McMahon with a little surprise come out to introduce WrestleMania, introduce the new I'm not gonna lie, I'm excited that there's a new era type thing, but if I have to hear it from like 28 different wrestlers in the back, that we get it, it's a new era. But now that Stephanie said it, I guess it's actually official, right?
The Paul Levesque era. Her second Are You Ready was actually pretty good.
It was right on par with his.
Yeah, I'm not a huge Stephanie fan, but I'm definitely looking forward to the Paul Levesque era. We've already seen the drastic change with him at the helm within the last 6 months, and these 2 nights of WrestleMania feels like a complete change versus what we've seen in the last 5 WrestleManias.
I completely agree. On our review, on our review yesterday, you could hear it. It seems like these guys, even on commentary, have just so much more. Not like they're on commentary screaming cuss words or anything. Nothing crazy like that. It just seems like they have a little more freedom. If you haven't been watching wrestling over the last 20 years, you won't understand it. But it just seems like the wrestlers, even when they're in the ring and the camera pans on them during a certain point of the match, these guys are starting to say things into the camera that kind of go with the match. It just feels different. And again, I'm all for it.
It feels less funneled and filtered and more as if the superstars and commentary has more creative control over what's going on during the matches and during promos versus being handed a script that seems like something you would see on children's YouTube for kids.
Yeah, it's true. So kicking it off right away, Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. That beautiful big gold belt that we've seen now. That Seth is the only one that's been holding it since it's been introduced. Your initial thoughts on this match, and did you think the outcome would be the outcome? We're not going to count the cash in yet. We'll talk about the cash in after. But did you think Drew would win?
I didn't pick Drew or Seth to win. My initial process was Damian was going to cash in.
Okay.
But what changed my thought process is Drew coming out with immediate Claymore. I was like, whoa, he means business. And he just kept pressing and pressing Seth from the beginning of the match. And Seth was like Sami Zayn was last night and just didn't want to give up. And I was like, oh, man, maybe Damian's not going to cash in. And then it just kept rolling and rolling. And when he got on the announcer's table and told CM Punk that he would end his career, I was like, oh, this is the Paul Levesque era right here. Because you wouldn't do something like that last year, someone telling someone they're going to end their career. It was also funny how he crawled across the he said like a jungle cat. I was like, oh my god, Michael Cole.
Yeah, so Drew, to me, Drew's been doing some of his probably the best work of his career over the last 4 or 5 months, and a couple things I like from the Drew live tweet that he did when he went out to he grabbed the phone and he tweeted he's just bored at work, something like that. I got initial flashbacks of the Sheamus Daniel Bryan WrestleMania when the quick kick, and then I thought it was going to be 3. Because you figure Seth wrestled last night. The hurt knee. Excuse me. So you figure some things like that could happen.
And they played towards that hurt knee a lot, which was perfect storytelling.
Yeah, it was great. And the whole Punk angle, having Punk out there in commentary. If Drew just goes to the back, celebrates, he doesn't get cashed in on, but since he goes out, messes around with Punk, he hangs out a little bit. Now this guy comes out, and it creates even more animosity between those two guys.
I kind of wish Priest would have hit one more south of heaven just to make it feel more as if he had to put him over. Because if you think about it, Drew had the most offense throughout the entire match. Seth took all the damage. So I don't think someone as big of a name as Drew McIntyre should only take one south of heaven finishers to win, to lose. It should have been like 2 or 1 in a powerbomb or something. But that's just me being picky.
Yeah, if I had a picky thing too, I agree. I'd be like, sometimes when these guys cash in their briefcase, they they do the pin, they show the belt, and then they just run to the back right away. I kind of wish there would have been a little more of a, because this is one of the biggest moments in WrestleMania history. I don't think the Puerto Rican champion, I think Pedro Morales, they said, was the last guy to hold a World Heavyweight Championship. So a little bit more of a celebration. I know it took place on top of the ramp.
Yeah.
But, they run away with it he did kind of just steal it, but that's kind of like, I guess, the concept of the Money in the Bank briefcase.
If he wouldn't have cashed in, what would have been the next line for that? Because I was thinking maybe he doesn't cash in here and he cashes in on Cody afterwards, but I just feel like that would have been a huge spit in the face of the Cody crybabies.
Yeah, that would have been a rough time to go home. So
I do think.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry about that. I do think I really wanted him to debut Broken Dreams again, but now this is the most prototypical time he addresses the crowd tomorrow and he comes out to Broken Dreams. Because if you think about it, this is his broken dream. He had the gold in his hand, but because of his selfish innuendities, he lost it. Now his dreams are broken. That would be the perfect time for him to bring that absolute banger of a theme song back.
Kissed his wife and everything. It was sad.
Savage.
So to follow that match, you obviously knew that match was really good. So to follow that, somebody was going to get stuck behind it. And out of all the matches, this was probably the one on the card that had the most chance of getting stuck behind it. So it was the 6-man tag match with the Street Profits and Bobby Lashley versus what are they? I don't even know what they're called. I don't like Karrion Kross. I can't stand them.
Final Testament. The Final Testament.
I can't ever take Karrion Kross seriously. I'm sorry if anybody does like him.
He was a beast with NXT and
amazing.
His run on the Indies was good, but WWE has a very bad history of bringing these guys who are superstars on NXT up to the main card and just thudding the bag big time. Samoa Joe, Adam Cole, Karrion Kross, Andrade Cien Almas, like the list goes on and on of these guys that were bangers in NXT, but then get up to the main roster and it's just duds. Keith Lee, my God, Keith Lee.
Oh no, it's Bearcat Lee. When they changed his name for no fucking reason,
made him wear that ugly ass leotard.
Oh my God, it was brutal.
But
so this was a good spot. Bubba Ray Dudley, special guest referee, since it was a no holds barred match. It was nice seeing Bubba out there with the Philly crowd. I don't know about you. That was a good spot. I could completely do without Snoop Dogg. I don't know about you. I when they say coming WWE Hall of Famer, I'm like, oh man, this is going to be somebody awesome. And then they say Snoop Dogg, and I'm like, all right. And then hearing him rhyme on commentary was rough. But
yeah.
Nothing crazy, right? They had the botched table spot. The table just broke. But other than that, it was like nothing too crazy. I think the right people won. The Karrion Krosses of the world. They didn't stand a chance there in that spot.
I think the highlight was literally Karrion getting in Bubba's face and then Bubba turning on him and then directing them to do the flying headbutt to the crotch spot. Like from that moment down was literally the best part of the entire match. I did a predictions on TikTok and YouTube that says who really cares about this match because it doesn't really mean anything for not one of these people out there.
Yeah. So I was thinking that was where we might start to lose the crowd again. So thankfully we didn't, because on my list here, the next match was the the LA Knight AJ Styles match, which
Banger.
which I had predicted in my video that this would be the match of the night. Unfortunately, for a good reason, I was wrong, because I think the two championship matches were better. But again, the right guy won.
Mm-hmm.
I know AJ Styles is in that kind of. Oh, I know you're a big LA Knight fan like me. I think the sky's the limit for this guy. I don't want to hear about his age. He's in amazing shape, and 21 years rolling on the Indies, and where he was, he finally he got a WrestleMania match. I don't know where AJ Styles. I think he's kind of in that no man's land in WWE now, because I don't see them pushing him in the main event picture at this time. But losing to LA Knight like that, the next step for LA Knight, obviously, I think, is getting some gold around that waist, whether that's US, Intercontinental, whatever it is.
Yeah, I was pushing for LA versus Logan Paul like 4 to 5 months ago, and I think both of those guys talk really well. And even if you have to push AJ Styles to the mid card, like AJ Styles versus Sammy or AJ Styles versus Logan Paul, you can sign me up for any of those. Maybe even have to change shows. Like the guys, it's just like Seth Rollins. You could put out there a wet pool noodle, and they're going to put on a 5-star banger. AJ Styles is just a phenomenal wrestler.
No pun intended.
No pun intended. And his new theme is pretty tough too.
Did you like? Yeah, I was going to add. Did you like it? I mean, I could hear a little bit of it, but they after a while. But it's like a how would you describe his new theme? Like a new,
kind of like a darker version of the original WWE
yeah.
theme. I see a lot of people pushing for his TNA theme, which would have been super cool, but I doubt they want to fish out that cash to buy the rights for that song.
Fishing out cash too. I mean, there's a lot of guys from other promotions in the arena that, in these boxes, probably cost them a lot of money. So yeah, that's a good one. Moving into the triple threat match, another great match. Say what you want about Logan Paul. I love Logan Paul, and I also hate Logan Paul at the same time. I can't. I really just cannot explain it. I think he has that it factor when it comes to just having the crowd in the palm of his hand. I don't think he'll ever be a face. He doesn't need to be a face. I don't think he'd be good as a face. But again, I think the right guy won. I predicted Logan Paul would win. I don't know about the whole. I don't like bringing like a new YouTube streamer out every big match that he has to get slammed in a prime bottle. But who did you think would win this match? And are you a Logan Paul fan as well?
I do rock with Logan Paul. The dude is an absolute natural talent in the ring. In every match he has, he just shows that he's gotten better and better and better. Like he's what all these other celebrity wrestlers wish they could have been. Initially going into it, I didn't really pick a person. I think I had selected Orton, and Orton was who I was rooting for. But a friend of mine was talking about we should have got Kevin Owens, so we could have had Sami Zayn come out to celebrate with Kevin Owens like Eddie and Chris Benoit did, which would have been a really cool spot. I was cool with either three of the guys winning. I love all three of them.
Yeah, so when I saw Sami doing the thing that he did, that Owens did with him the previous night, I said right there, I was like, okay, Owens is going to win, because they kind of had Sami telling him to go get it. This is your time now. So, but I mean, I think this is WWE. I think this is WWE at its best, where they have you in this position where a triple threat match for a title is anybody's game, and it's LA Knight's game, but it's anybody's game, and all three of these guys put on a really good match.
Yeah.
Bayley and Io Sky for the WWE Women's Championship.
Oh my God. Oh my God. They tore the house down.
Yeah. And Io Sky was in just coming down there. She's just in a whole nother world, and I love it. Yeah. Like she is Io Sky, very underrated. Yeah. I think I don't want to steal what Michael Cole said, but you hear a lot of people on the internet, oh, Io Sky's boring. She doesn't do this. She's not in any main feud. She's so underrated, and I think Bayley and her, great match. The right person won, I think, and great storytelling. Yeah. Again, Bayley's back on top. Crowd was fully behind Bayley the entire match. They didn't shut up the entire match.
Yeah, I had picked Bayley to win, and like you've been saying about Io, she's just such a perfect technical wrestler. Her ability to waver her maneuvers from the top rope to the mat to the outside, off the ropes. She's just amazing. And Bailey deserved this after the amount of time she's been without a belt and how she's been holding on to the women's division all this time through Becky leaving to have her baby, and then Mercedes Moné leaving, and then it just left her, and then Charlotte's been in and out of the picture. She's been the only consistent figure of the four horsewomen still left on top, and she got her praises tonight.
That's a good point. I didn't even think about that. She does. She's been the most consistent out of the horsewomen.
Consistency.
Yeah. So here we go. The match we've all been waiting for now for 365 days. The rematch of Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, the tribe. He's still my tribal chief. Still my tribal chief. It's very weird right now. We're in a weird time that Roman doesn't have the championship. I don't know how to react to it. I'm happy Cody won. I'm happy he finished his story. Right away, just give me your thoughts on how the match went. Did you like all the run-ins? Did you like all the legends? I know for guys like me with the Attitude Era stuff, we'll cheer anytime these guys come out. But what did you think about the match as a whole? And then did you like that Cody won?
So initially, it felt crazy for it to have lasted that long without any interference. I thought it would have been kind of like not even an immediate situation, but like a lot sooner than what we got when we got Jimmy to show up. And then after that, I was like, okay, the ball's going to begin to roll. And then Jimmy brings Jay out, and then Sola comes out, and then that brings out Cena. And then I was like, okay, here comes The Rock. And then from there, I thought it was going to be Stone Cold because of the whole little TikTok thing he posted. And then we have The Undertaker. And my daughter was like, where did he come from? I was like, he's got superpowers. He's magical. She was like, oh, okay. And it was an amazing theatrical experience to see this roller coaster of emotions from the start to the finish of just Cody not giving up, and Roman, like he hit him with that crossroads and was talking to him with like, that move doesn't finish anybody.
Yeah,
that move's
that was
weak.
awesome.
I was like, that's my tribal chief. And then I do think I wish Cody would have used, I know he did the 3-peat on the crossroads, but like a spear or a Samoan punch, something like just one more little to finish it off, just because it's like, this is Roman Reigns. The guy's been champion for forever. And he did take a beating, and like maybe a curb stomp from Seth or an FU from Cena, just something else just to kind of like give it that extra feeling would have been cool. But I mean, I guess I'm okay with Cody winning, even though he took the belt from my tribal chief.
But I think something that really something that got to me was Samantha Irvin's announced. She couldn't even get the words out. It seemed like she was crying. That was, to me, that's just, I don't know if Vince gets mad at something like that. Maybe he does, but I think that that's just natural, raw emotion, and it fit perfectly with Cody winning that belt, because you want to hear something like that. You want to hear it start to affect everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And so Cody is champion now. Roman, I just don't know how to feel. I feel like there's a part of me. This guy's the chief. He's been a part of me for 3 years now as champion. Now, go ahead.
I think what really threw me for a whirlwind is hearing that Sierra Hotel, India, Lima, Delta, and I was like, whoa. I was like,
I'm thinking Moxley's.
Yeah. I was like, there's no way. There's absolutely no way. And then it plays back to, this is the theatricalness behind it. It plays back to the camera shoots to Seth with the chair with Roman's back turning. You're like, oh, what script writing that is. And
perfect. Yeah.
It was all inspiring. Like, I tapped my hat off to Paul Levesque and everybody else, because they really put on a show.
Yeah. And so before we end it, where do you think now, tomorrow night, Raw after WrestleMania is always a big one. I had thought that they were going to save the cash in for tomorrow night, so that takes that out of the equation. Where does, obviously The Rock's going to go away for a few months, right? Predictable. I think that's around SummerSlam. He's supposed to kind of rear his head back in.
Yeah, because he's already got a movie on the schedule right after Mania. So I could definitely see like a SummerSlam kind of ordeal.
Yeah.
Him versus Cody, then Cody beat him, or he beat Cody, and then he's like, "See, I could do what you couldn't do," and beat Cody, which leads to Roman versus Rock at Mania 41.
Yeah, that's got to happen because I still want to see it. I want to
Yeah.
see Rock Roman again. So coming into that now, it's Cody's the champion. Roman's probably going away a bit for a while, I would assume as well, to kind of like take some time off. Paul Heyman's probably going to come out and give this big speech about how he's been carrying the company on his shoulders for so long. He needs some time off, type of thing. What happens to the bloodline moving forward? Do we see Rock Roman tomorrow night at Mania, and they just kind of say we're going away for a little bit, and maybe make Solo, who I kind of saw was kind of like barking orders at Roman. Maybe Solo kind of takes the reins here. No pun intended again.
I mean, I guess we could see Sola and Jimmy doing the tag team thing because, WWE's main roster tags could use a little bit of oomph. So that would be okay. I don't know if we'll see Rock and Roman. We might see one, but I do know Roman's definitely going to leave because they have been saying he's been battling with his leukemia again. So they might come out to address it and say that he's coming back for the belt or something. I don't know. And I think that's the best part about it is it leaves us on our seats to see what happens tomorrow.
100%. The fact that we don't know what's going to happen is a huge plus. And, as much as I loved, not to take the words out of his mouth, but the ride that The Rock took us on for 4 months.
Yeah.
It'll be nice to see this new direction and era with these other wrestlers stepping up and see who steps up in The Rock's place and Roman's place, because guys and girls are going to need to step up because what the story that they just told with that, and I'm so, call me a mark or whatever these guys on the internet like to call people, but I thought it was brilliant. And The Rock being a part of the WWE for the last 4 months has been very fun. And again, like I said, people are going to have to step up now.
Yeah.
Moving forward.
This is where you push up Braun Breaker. You bring up Ilya Dragunov and Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams, all these barn burners that you have down in NXT, and you let Damian Priest shine. I know we're going to get to see him and Drew interact at some point tomorrow. And, I mean, Sammy, there's so much talent. This is the time to really project your talent while you have this opening in this big gaping window to show guys like LA Knight, Styles, Gunther. Like, you have the opportunity to really start a new era with the post-Roman Rock era behind us with all this new and improved talent in front of you, because there's so much talent on this roster that you could really show off now with like the amount of feuds that you could put Cody through, heel LA Knight, Gunther, Orton, Styles, Owens,
Even Punk when he gets healthy.
Rollins, McIntyre. Like, there's so many guys. And I know I have no idea how long this title reign could last. Does it go to Mania? Does it go to SummerSlam, Survivor Series? Who's going to be first on his list? Is what's got me the most intrigued. It's either should be LA Knight or should be Gunther. Those are the only two I'm accepting.
Yeah. And just one point I want to make too. I don't know how you feel about this. How do you feel about long title reigns? It's like we just had a guy break the Intercontinental title. We had a guy
66 days.
Yes, and we had a guy do something we're probably never going to see for the rest of our lifetime again. For 3 years, hold a belt, and Rhea is gone. I think over a year now with the title. Yeah. I'm not talking about Attitude Era where the belts change on like a random SmackDown type thing, but do you think we should do maybe a sort of like a 3-month max on some of these title reigns? Do you want to see the title in more hands, or do you prefer these long title reigns?
I like a long title reign as long as they're defending. If they're defending, because like I do my GMs and universe modes on WWE 2K24, and every pay-per-view, all the titles are getting defended. There's not going to be a champion not on the card. If Triple H is like, hey, I need you to leave Seth Rollins off the card. If he's my champion, I don't care what you're saying, Triple H, he's still going on the card because I believe every pay-per-view, every title should be defended. Yeah. So your reign could be 17 years, but as long as you're defending every pay-per-view or every other pay-per-view or pretty consistently, it doesn't really matter to me.
Yeah, true. And if you're getting a good story and a good like if you're just defending it randomly against like random guys, but if you're telling a good story for each rivalry, then it's definitely worth keeping. It has to keep us engaged. That's the biggest thing. All right, man. So we do have work in the morning, so I will let you get some sleep. We got a big Raw tomorrow night, Monday night after WrestleMania. One more shout out to yourself, where people can find you and what you are all about.
Gambino Gaming on YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch. You come for your sports content, your WWE content, and all kinds of gaming content. Videos dropping Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. YouTube shorts every day. Same goes with TikTok. Come join the growing Gambino Mafia we call family. Shout out to Pudgy Mike and Pudgy Sports Podcast for having me on the show. We got to do this again on my show. I really appreciate you hitting me up to get back together after it's been about a month.
Yeah, definitely, man. Looking forward to more collabs in the future. And thank you for coming on again.
Thank you, sir.